Hey everyone, so I'm doing my fourth video now, and my collection room is right there. You can see it, it's dark in there, and it's kind of at the front of my house, but I'm gonna focus on what I have in my living room right now, which is not Kenner, my old Kenner. My old Kenner is all in that room, and that's my favorites, but I was gonna just more focus on what I have displayed here. And I'm gonna start at the top above my closet. This is all some of my Sideshow and Hot Toys. So Sideshow and Hot Toys kind of came about in the early 2000s with Star Wars. So I remember my first Sideshow piece of Star Wars. I was in a local store and the guy had the Darth Vader 1/4 scale Darth Vader, the original one, on display, and I just was like, whoa. It was so beautiful, and I still love it. So from there, it kind of reignited my love, and I started, buying these things. And I'm not sure. Like I was so in love with them at one point, and now I'm not as enamored with them. I think it's because I'm so in love with the Kenner days, and as I get older, that's where I seem to go. So up there, I have three life-size busts, which is C-3PO. You can see him there. Vader, and then Boba Fett. Now these are all the old versions, so that's the Vader that his head does not move. Don't, seems like a bad idea at the time. Then over here, I got these 2/4 scale Hot Toys, which is Darth Vader and Boba Fett. Now again, these are just beautiful. I love the Vader. He is actually something I could never part with. The Boba Fett I like too. The only problem is that it's from Return of the Jedi, and I prefer Empire Strikes Back. Then I've got 4-LOM, R5D4, Sideshow Stormtrooper, TIE Fighter Pilot, Rebel Trooper, and then some Sand Troopers. The Sideshow Bespin Han. That's a Sideshow Vader. I think that TIE Fighter Pilot is from pre-Sideshow. They're a bit smaller. I can't remember what they're called, but I have a few of those. And then I have Captain Nita and Ben Kenobi. And I do, you know what, I do like them. I have a ton more. I have the Dewback. I used to have that displayed. I just don't have it anymore. Displayed anymore. I'm just running out of room. And then right here, I have my life-size Sideshow Yoda. He's a really nice looking guy. I think he's pretty accurate. So I don't mind him. I have him right in front of my TV here. And yeah, he's pretty cute. I actually like him. I get a lot of comments on him when people come over. So really cool. I love his hair. Then we're gonna move over here. So right behind my couch, and my puppy's there, I set up this display after I bought a couch, like what do you call these couches? Like sectional. And I wanted to have a table behind it with some stuff. And I'm like, well, I was actually gonna originally put my HasLab sail barge, but then I'm like, no, I've got so much stuff. So what I did was I put a bunch of different items. So those are Hot Toys Stormtroopers, the ones that are two different sizes, like heights, and then that's a Hot Toys Vader, that's Hot Toys Leia, love her, Hot Toys Luke. That Vader helmet I think is EFX. Then that's a Sideshow 3PO with his removable arm. For so long, you guys, I tried to get Luke holding his arm, and oh man, it was just, he couldn't stay in his arm, in his hands. I did have Obi-Wan down here, but I put him up above. I don't know why I did that, actually. He could probably fit. Then that's a Boba Fett helmet, but that's actually, I think that's a Hasbro Boba Fett helmet. So I got that a few years ago for Christmas, and I actually think it's really good. I love the Sideshow Tusken Raider. The Sideshow Tusken Raider is really nice, and I love how I posed him. It just reminds me of the photos. I think it just looks like from the Kenner packaging, like I just got it pretty good there. This is the remote control R2 from your iPhone that came out a couple years ago. He displays so well as a figure. That's an EFX Stormtrooper helmet, and that's a Black Series Hasbro Landspeeder, which just looks so good. I really love these. Like they're so beautiful. I mean, that training, what do you call that? The training, I don't know what that is, that Luke does with them on the Millennium Falcon with Ben. That's actually from the Ben Kenobi 1/4 scale sideshow, which is, I've packed that away in storage. I don't find it's as accurate anymore. But these stormtroopers and Princess, I love how Vader's behind her and she's just kind of like in a stance. I got her to pose, and I just love that. Oh yeah, they're nice looking. I don't know if these are forever here. Again, I really want to. My Kenner is my life now, and it just seems as I get older, this stuff just becomes not as, I don't know, not as, important to me. Then I move over and I actually have my Empire Strikes Back wall. So of course we start at the top. I have my Regal Robot Han Solo. I love this in carbonite. I'm scared it's gonna fall the way I've hung it, but it's been good so far. Yeah, I just love it. It's so nice. And then I met both Billy D. Williams and Carrie Fisher here in Calgary. They were at our local Comic-Con, which has become this wildly popular event. And we've seen huge celebrities come, and I met them both. And Carrie Fisher was unbelievable. I had a really amazing experience with her where she was one of the big ticket items the year that she came. And I had a fast pass to get in to see her, and she, signed my thing. I actually got her to sign one from Empire and one from A New Hope, and I love it. For Charlie, my man, love for Miss Princess, Carrie Fisher. Then I went and got a photo with her the next day, a photo op, and it was one of those photo ops where you have to run up, take the picture, and you have to keep going. Like, they had to get through them. And it was the next day. I remember she was covered with glitter both days. She had sprinkled herself with glitter. Her dog was with her. Her black pug, I think it was. He was sitting with her. And I ran up to her and she's like, "Oh, Charlie, you're back." And I just was like, she remembers my name. Holy mother. Billy D. Williams, listen, I'm going to be honest, very underwhelming experience. Both my friend and I were severely disappointed. He wasn't friendly. And you know what? Maybe he was having a rough morning. He was very late. I think over an hour late. And that happens. But the walk up, he wouldn't even look up at people. And you basically had to sign, you had to put on a Post-it note. You couldn't do anything personal. He would do, to so-and-so. So they said, well, it's either personal to your name or he'll just sign his name. So I put my name on the Post-it. So it's for Charlie, Billy D. But he didn't even look up at me. And I'm just like, okay, no, that's cool. Just not a great, not an experience that I've, like a lot of them are so friendly. And I don't really appreciate when people aren't. I know that everyone's got things going on, but you're at a paid event and it's for the fans. And if you don't want to do it and you're not really into it, I don't think you should. I think you should just not do it. And he just wasn't into it. And Carrie Fisher had a way bigger fan base and she was into it. She was an angel. And most people you meet are amazing. There are some celebrities that are they're just not friendly. I don't know what's wrong, and maybe they just don't really want to do it, but they have to. This is my 40 by 60 Empire Strikes Back poster original. I've had this for a really long time, and they don't make 40 by 60s anymore, but they did back in the day. I think they stopped making them in '83 for movies. And yeah, I've had it. It's in mint condition. I had it framed a long time ago. It is perfect. There's no fading, no creases. The cardstock is so thick. Then we come down to my Empire Strikes Back table. So I have a AT-AT, which is from a game, I think. I got it a long time ago, but I thought it suited perfectly. And then I've got the Sideshow AT-AT driver. I've got the Sideshow Snowtrooper Commander. I love the Probot. Oh my gosh, that Probot is so cool. I actually bought two. It does light up and makes noise and stuff, and it's just, I want to get a turntable for it so it's always spinning. Then I have a Sideshow and a Hot Toy Snowtrooper. I love the Snowtroopers. When the Kenner Snowtrooper came out in 1980, holy crap, I was like, that is my favorite Stormtrooper ever. And I remember seeing Empire Strikes Back in the theater, and as soon as the Snowtroopers came on the screen, when they bust through the Hoth base, I was like, those are so cool. I just thought they were the wildest looking things. This is my Luke Skywalker on Tauntaun. I love this. This is all Sideshow. I think Sideshow really stepped up their game with this. Now, it is a statue. I think it's made of polystone. I'll talk more about polystone later. And then this R2 came out. He was silver from, is it Hot Toys or Sideshow? I can't remember, but I liked it. I thought the silver looked good, and it just reminded me of kind of Dagobah when he was kind of dirty and you couldn't really see his colors. Hoth Leia, look, I love all the Leias that are coming out from Hot Toys. Hot Toys has really gotten Leia spot on, and she's just a breathtaking. She's a beauty. That's a Sideshow Han. I got him to, he's holding the thing that he's looking for Luke with. I don't know what it's called, but I got him to hold it. It took me forever. I've got the Hot Toys Yoda. He's doing his force, lifting rocks up. You can kind of see that here. Really, really beautiful figure. That's the Sideshow Luke in X-Wing gear. To be quite frank with you, I do want the Hot Toys version, and the only reason why I want it is because the packaging is styled in the old Kenner vintage packaging. So I do have those, and I'm keeping them in box. So I do have Boba Fett and Lando in those vintage style Hot Toys boxing. I don't have Vader. I never got him, but the problem is that the Vader that was in that Hot Toys packaging, I already had in the regular box. This is the Hot Toys Bespin Leia, and she is a thing of beauty. I just think I love the Bespin gown. It's so beautiful. Then you've got Boba Fett behind there. I believe that one is a Sideshow, the first Sideshow. That's a Sideshow Lando. I do have the Hot Toys one, as I said. That's the Hot Toys Luke, which came with a 2-pack where his eyes move. I do have the other one too set up in my other room where he's all damaged, and he's got the thing on his cut off hand. And then that's an Empire Strikes Back Hot Toys Vader. I think it's Hot Toys, or is that Sideshow? Shoot, I can't even tell some of these apart. So that's kind of my Empire Strikes Back table, and this is actually where my dining area is supposed to be. And I'm like, yeah, the amount of time I'm gonna sit and eat at a table in my house when I have a table in my kitchen, I made my dining area devoted to my collectibles. So here's my biggest item. So that's my 40 by 60 Star Wars poster, original, mint condition. I had it framed in a really good frame, just like my Empire one. And these are the big sellers in my house that people just go gog over when they come over, which is my life-size C-3PO and R2. These are from Sideshow. When I first saw these announced from Sideshow, I immediately pre-ordered. So much so that I actually got a new job so I could afford them. These kind of made me go, okay, I need to get a better paying job. And I did. I did move jobs to pay for these back in 2008. And I have to say, they're pretty to look at from a distance. They're made of polystone, and these, there's issues. Like, my C-3PO is already broken. He broke when I had to move to my house, so his electronics don't work anymore. His eyes did light up, and he said a bunch of lines from the original movie. And it's made of polystone. So this C-3PO is like 5'7" or 5'8". So this thing weighs just as much as I do, and I'm like over 6'2". So it's a really heavy statue. I call it a statue because it's made of polystone. And polystones, look, I think it's cheap. I've seen so many people complaining about how these things crack. So I moved my 3PO myself when I was moving to my house. And I thought, oh, I can do it. And yeah, I broke him. I broke the prongs on his hands, and now his electronics don't work. I could probably get it fixed. I just have to figure out how. R2, after I moved 3PO, I said, forget it, I'm not gonna move R2, he's heavy. So what I did was I actually hired professional movers who specialize in moving heavy antiques and stuff, and they moved him for me. And I gotta say, these guys did a phenomenal job the way they wrapped him. R2 is fine, his electronics work. He does have, again, he does make sounds and stuff, but the sounds sound worse than a toy. They're just so muffled and no good. So I'm not gonna lie, these are a nightmare to dust. You have to be so careful, like with all the things sticking out in the prongs. It takes me a while to dust them. The bases are huge. I thought about taking R2's base out and just having him there, but then he wouldn't be on the level with 3PO because the bases are so heavy. Like I kind of worry about my house sometimes because it's so heavy, and I can see like behind them where where the floorboards are. The floorboards distance between the floorboards and the actual floor has separated a little bit compared to where there's not so much weight. But I mean, my basement does have the things like where in just to hold up the house. So I was told it should be fine. But yeah, these things are so heavy. Like I don't know, and I just know that they're going to be worthless one day because if something happens to me, or if I move again, you know what? They're gonna get wrecked. Like they're not made well. They look nice from a distance. Like this distance, yeah, lovely. But you go up close, you can see all the inconsistencies, especially, I'll give you one. Look at this. Like this was just such a bad job. Look at his prongs. They're so not even spaced properly, and they're not even the same size. Like look at that. I was just when I got this, I saw it right away. I actually painted the silver here because that wasn't painted, and I'm like, that's cheap, like that should have been painted. So yeah, you know what, lesson learned. I don't really have room for life size. I'm not a rich person. I don't have a huge house, so I won't buy anything else life size. And I'm really in love with Kenner. And then that's my Hasbro AT-AT, which I have here, and that's a remote control R2. I don't remember which one that is. One thing I'm going to admit, which is kind of embarrassing, is in 2020 during COVID, I adopted a dog, and you know, it's funny when I got him from the foster person. She told me he was 90% trained, like potty trained. And it was funny when I went to dust these, I realized that he was using the bases of my 3PO and my R2 as pee pads. Because I couldn't figure out why the dust was stuck in certain sections in the corner, and he had literally urinated all over my R2 legs. He had urinated all over the AT-AT, his legs, and on the C3PO's base. I was mortified. I didn't even know he was doing that. And yeah, it was funny because I got him during COVID, and I actually adopted him in February of 2020, and I love him to death. He's here, but he's wildly, like, he was a rescue from Los Angeles. And what was funny is he was chipped. So the rescue agency told me somebody owned him, and they said they don't think he ran away, because if he ran away, he was chipped. They could have gotten him. They think they just tossed him outside. He got picked up by the pound, and he was at a kill shelter. And of course, there's a place here in Alberta that rescues them right from the kill shelters in LA. So I got him. But yeah, he hasn't been nice to my Star Wars stuff. I was in my collectible room actually last week, and I noticed that he had urinated on two of my old Star Wars boxes, my Kenner boxes, on the floor. And I'm like, oh no. It would have been a long time ago. I cleaned them, but yeah, they're basically worthless now. I do love them though, and you know what? These animals, it's terrible what's happening to them. I don't want to get into that because it's about Star Wars, but I do love him. He's been a nightmare. He's peed on a couple of my things, and we're surviving. But anyway, that's my collection. So my living room. This is a New Hope section with, of course, the Boba Fett helmet. There doesn't really fit. Then I've got my Empire section. Then I've got the some stuff up there, and I'm gonna just see how this evolves. I definitely got to get more stuff up and out. I really want to say thank you to everybody who's watching my videos. I'm shocked. I'm so shocked. And I started watching these in during COVID, and just coveting like all these people with their channels, and thinking how amazing it is to get to share these things with people. And yeah, like, I love it. I'm a Kenner kid. That's my thing. Will always be where I go first. None of this stuff that we're looking at here is anything I would ever choose over my Kenner stuff. I would never. And it's funny when some people who don't understand are like, oh, those Kenner toys are just so ugly, like, just the figures. I'm like, no, they're not. They're beautiful. They're just so beautiful. And look at how far we've come. But anyway, have a great rest of your weekend. I'll have more coming. I'm doing some shelves and stuff in my room. But again, thanks everybody, and hope everyone's doing good out there. Cheers.